All Blacks and Wallabies, Bledisloe 1. It's a draw. 16 points apiece. It's a draw. With a draw, I'm honestly thinking moral victory to Dave Rennie and the Wallabies here. It's not the most... Well, it's not the ideal start for Ian Foster and Sam Cane in their time with the All Blacks. But, man, we got Eden Park next week, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. But hell of a game, man. I mean, neither side was 100%. The conditions seemed pretty bad. The wind, which is something you can't really see on the telly. I mean, you could see it when they were doing the sideline interviews. It was blowing. And it was raining for at least the majority of the second half from what we could see. If any of you guys were at the ground, let us know. But, yeah, man. 16 apiece. It went like 89 minutes. Hell of a game. Even if you're a neutral, man, your heart rate had to be up at the end of that one. Who knows what was going to happen. Unfortunately, it wasn't a sellout, which is a bit disappointing. I mean, you could say there's no away fans because New Zealand's borders are still locked down. You could say maybe people are still a bit worried about big gatherings full of people. Maybe people are a bit worried about the old COVID. So, still, it's nice to see a sold-out game for the internationals. Not quite. And the ref will be a talking point. Because of COVID, we've had to have a New Zealand ref for a New Zealand game, which is, it just never happens. There was an Aussie touch judge. Otherwise, it's an all New Zealand officiating team. I think Angus Gardner is going to take charge of next week's game. So, at least we get one Kiwi and one Aussie in charge. But, yeah, crazy stuff. I'll go through some of the key points of the game, some of the stats, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on how this one went as well. So, I mean, to be fair, the Wallabies had a ton of ball. First half and second, but especially that first half. Dalgunu had kind of the first like real attacking chance at line break, but they ended up knocking it on in the offload down the right wing. And for all their ball in the first 10 minutes or so, the Wallabies weren't able to get any points. But Geordie Barrett on the right wing, he got the first try of the game down on that right wing. And it was essentially the first time the All Blacks had been down the Wallabies' end. So it's a pretty heart-wrenching one if you're Dave Rennie. And it's a pretty reassuring one if you're Ian Foster, that you can defend. And then when you get your chance, you take it. Whereas for the Wallabies, you couldn't take your own chances, and first chance to defend weren't quite able to get it done. So, yeah, it was Banks. Tom Banks' touch finder didn't find touch. D-Mac decided to help run it back. A bit of a controversial one as well, because on closer inspection, it looks like Rico Ioane, who was going down the left wing, and we'll get back to him later, seemed to put at least 1 or 2 feet into touch, which is one you would think the TMO team would be all over, given that it was non-neutral refs. That may come up later. But, yeah, it seemed like that one maybe should have been chalked off for a foot in touch. But either way, they missed the conversion, and it is 5-0 to the All Blacks. The Wallabies went about 1 metre from the AB's line. I think it was Matt Phillip with their first real chance, like close to the goal line, but they got turned over. And, yeah, interestingly, there was kind of a tactic early on. A lot of the Wallabies guys were having trouble with their shoelaces. First it was James O'Connor. Then it was Taneala Tupou. And then it was Nick White. Nick White got told off. Like, we're not having any more of that. So, yeah, I don't know if that was a tactic to delay or they just got some slippery shoelaces. But anyway, I just thought it was worth a note. 25 minutes, the Wallabies got out of jail with a line out pretty much right on their own line. They overthrew it, and the All Blacks guys got held up. That was a get out of jail. And they went back for an advantage anyway, so the All Blacks kicked the penalty to make it 8-0. 8-0, it's more than one score. The All Blacks, you're thinking, Wallabies are going to have a tough time of it from here, seeing as they've had all the ball, but seemingly no way of converting any points. 28 minutes, they did get a penalty. It was kind of on the sideline. They're playing into the wind. The conditions are pretty bad. So, fair enough, they don't go for the sticks. They go for touch. But from that resulting play, they win another penalty. And that one, which is a much easier kick, they do take. And Jock kicks that one over. Interesting that James O'Connor was doing the kicking instead of Tamua, when Tamua, I think, had a better success rate in Super Rugby AU. But either way, it's 8 points to 3. 34 minutes. The Wallabies get another penalty. They go for touch. It's 5 metres out. It was Tom Banks with the touch finder for that one. He's got an interesting kicking style sometimes, but he put it pretty much 5 metres out, right on the money. They went close, but it was that man Sam Cane who got turned over. And that was very much the story of this game, man. The Wallabies had the ball. They would go phases, and the All Blacks would turn them over. It was pretty brutal for the Wallabies, but the All Blacks defense, man, you can't knock it. 38 minutes, D-Mac takes a quick penalty kick. He kicks it dead. It's one of those ones that if it comes off, you look like a genius, but because it went dead, because he had the wind at his back, doesn't look the best. And then, speaking of not looking the best, right before halftime, Rico Ioane made the most of a chance, which was like a 6-on-2. I think it was 6-on-2, from some loose ball from the Wallabies. It was Folau Fainga. Had about as bad a hands as you can see, but he's going to get off the hook for this one because Rico is the man who ends up with the ball. All he's got to do is put the ball down to score it, and he knocks the thing on. He drops it. And he's done this at least once for the Blues and got away with it, where as he's kind of putting the ball down with his fingertips, because he likes to press it into the dirt, into the grass, he's done it once where the ball started to fall away, and it was just on his fingertips and in contact with the try line at the same time, and he was given that one. He pushed his bloody luck too far with this one, and he missed out. Some people will say that's justice for the Wallaby, for the foot and touch not getting called earlier. But oh my God, at this scoreline, you're going to be having nightmares about that one. Just put the ball down properly. That's like someone said it in the live chat when we were streaming the game. Primary school error. I never want to see him put the ball down that way again. I know it's a bit of showboating. It looks cool when you put the ball down one-handed, but it's prone to mistakes, and you can't be doing that at test match level. So, it's halftime. Interesting at halftime stats, run meters 158 to 269 in favour of the Wallabies. Possession 67-33, territory 73-27 to the Wallabies, and yet the All Blacks have got more points. So it shows you kind of how lethal the All Blacks attack and defence is, even if the Wallabies are able to keep so much pill. The Wallabies line-out, though, 6 from 9 is pretty poor. The Wallabies line-out was looking pretty average, whereas the All Blacks were 7 from 7. Penalties conceded was 7 by the Wallabies, 4 by the All Blacks at halftime. They were just getting turned over. And the Wallaby scrum was under a fair bit of pressure. Second half starts, and the Wallabies get a penalty from the kickoff. Interestingly, the wind is obviously now at the Wallabies' back, and maybe D-Mac didn't quite read that one because he was scrambling to get back further than he thought the ball was going to go. He misjudged it a wee bit. The Wallabies take a shot at goal, but they miss it, and it's still 8-3. Given this scoreline, that missed kick also looks pretty gutting, given it was a kickable one for sure. And then to add kind of salt into the wound, Aaron Smith gets his try moments later. It's a line-out move. It was Cody Taylor with an inside ball to Bridge. He gets the ball to Smith. Nick White, who had a pretty good game, probably should have done better on defence. He kind of gets fended off. Smith stumbles and is able to get the ball down one-handed. That's how you force the ball, Rico. They missed the conversion, though, but it's 13-3. And again, at 13-3, you think, man, the Wallabies, all that possession, 40-odd minutes, have only scored 3 points. They shouldn't be able to come back into this one. They shouldn't be able to. Especially when on 50 minutes, the All Blacks scrum, it's getting penalty advantage. That being said, from that scrum penalty on 50 minutes, that's one of the quickest advantage overs I've seen from a ref in a long time. Remember, this is a Kiwi ref and Kiwi team. And if you're going to argue some of the stuff went against the Wallabies, fair enough. But that one, like usually if you got penalty advantage, the referees play it for an age. This one was over as quick as I've seen a penalty advantage over. So, just to balance things out. And then, to make matters better for the Wallabies, Korobedi, 52 minutes. He gets a try on the left wing. It was James O'Connor's skip pass. and Korobidi just put the hammer down. D-Mac was trying his best to stop him. It was a beautiful finish. Aaron Smith's one-handed was good. Korobidi's one-handed one, maybe better. Down on the left wing. They missed the conversion. There's no conversion in this game, so it's 13 points to 8. That's pretty much back game on. 57 minutes. It goes real helter-skelter. There's a heap of loose ball. Korobidi kicks it through from the loose ball from the deck. He doesn't even try to get it. And, it's a bit of madness. And then from a few phases later, Daugunu, 62 minutes. It looks like a knock-on from the Wallabies, and Daugunu goes and dots it over. My initial reaction is, yeah, sure enough, it's a try that you get until they go back and check that there was a knock-on. But no, it was D-Mac ripping the ball back at the ruck, which saw the ball spill backwards for Daugunu to just pounce on and go for a try. So try on debut for him. All good. And it's 13 points apiece. They missed the conversion, as everyone missed the conversion as well. Like I said, the wind was pretty bad. But man, 13 points apiece. 15 minutes to go. 70 minutes, the Wallabies concede a scrum penalty. Geordie Barrett has a shot from about 40 metres. He misses it wide. He had the distance. Misses it wide at his home ground. You'd like to think, despite the conditions, given it's his home ground, he might kick a bit better. Missed kicks, both sides are pretty costly. Tuina Kwawhau on 72 minutes concedes a penalty at the breakdown. It's about 30 metres out in front, and the Wallabies make no mistake from this one, so they actually take the lead for the first time in the game. It's the only lead change. 16-13 with less than 10 minutes to go. However, with about 2.5 minutes left, the All Blacks win a penalty from a maul. I think it was Simmons who gave away that one, and sure enough, they slot that one, so it's 16 apiece. 16 apiece, like a minute, maybe 2 minutes to go. You're thinking, surely that's pretty much it. If the Wallabies, at least I was thinking, maybe I don't understand Dave Rennie's mentality, but I'm thinking the Wallabies away from home, surely you just kick it out. You're away from home. You haven't won in Wellington since 2000. If you get a chance to kick it out, just take the draw. But they didn't. And they ended up winning a penalty well inside their own half with a bit of angle. So it's like almost a 70-metre kick. 67 metres, I think they said. Reece Hodge, who's got a mega boot on him. I've seen him kick it in like some training video from like 80 metres. He takes a shot from inside his own half. And the thing hits the bloody post. The Wallabies will not get much closer to winning in New Zealand than that kick. Sure enough, it was kind of towards the outside of the post, but still. They managed to get the ball back from there. They go close. They go through a few phases. They don't set for a drop goal. They seem to go for a try, and eventually the All Blacks are able to get out of it. The All Blacks win a penalty, go down the other end of the field. And they do the same thing. They're literally meters out. Both sides knock it on, and again, it's helter-skelter. The ref's playing advantage well, so he's not ending the game for the knock-ons as long as the teams are happy to play on. And again, the All Blacks don't set for a drop goal. Didn't we learn this lesson against the Springboks a few years ago? Last year? And the year before? Interesting. Not seemingly willing to take a droppie from a pretty decent position. Eventually, the Wallabies get the ball back and just kick it out because they're right on their own goal line. So it finishes a draw. Absolutely blood pressure rising stuff. Great game. It wasn't the best skill set either way from either team, but the conditions were pretty mad. It's both teams' first game, so I'd say you'd have to be pretty happy with the result, at least like the game. Wallabies fans probably a bit happier than All Blacks fans, I would hazard a guess. Final stats, run meters 483 to 525, with the Wallabies having more, so relatively even. Possession ends up 61-39, likewise territory, so the Wallabies still had the lion's share, but unable to convert all those opportunities into points. Penalties conceded was 14-7, so the Wallabies twice as many penalties. There may be some talking about the ref for that one, but honestly, they just couldn't defend their own ball at the breakdown. The All Blacks were having a bit of a field day at times, likewise a bit at scrum time. And All Blacks defence, 91% tackle percentage is phenomenal. The Wallabies were at a very respectable 85%, but 91% is just next level. And they had to make 202 tackles to the Wallabies 105. So the All Blacks defence, kudos to them for putting in a hell of a shift. Individuals, Caleb Clark had a pretty bloody good shift when he came on. He managed 55 run meters and 5 defenders beaten from the limited minutes he got. Sam Cane, people criticised him when he was appointed as captain. 25 out of 25 tackles. 25. Next best All Black has 16. So the guy is there to do a particular job, and he does it well, whether you like him or you don't. Speaking of guys who had good games, Dalgunu for the Wallabies had 130 run meters. He was electric, beat 3 defenders. Nick White had 49 run meters and 6 defenders beaten, so he was pretty dangerous as well. But yeah, very, very interesting game. Eden Park next week. We'll see if the All Blacks are able to return to kind of regular service, or if this Dave Rennie-led Wallabies team are able to continue to make life difficult. Hopefully it's a bit better conditions, but we will have to wait and see how things go. But yeah, if you haven't seen the game, I'm sure the All Blacks will be putting the highlights up on their YouTube channel. ESPN Plus have the games usually on demand. So I'll put a link in the description for that one if you want to watch the game in full. It's definitely worth a watch. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on the game. If you're an All Blacks fan, are you pretty pissed off at Rieko Ioane for that pretty casual way he forced the ball down? If you're a Wallabies fan, are you pretty pissed off about that foot and touch? Or as a rugby fan, are you just happy to see international rugby back? A crowd, some entertainment, some heart-racing stuff. Anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to you again soon. See you later.